G'day guys, Grant Tulloch here. This is the program, an introduction to the 7 Colours to Freedom, and I just thought I'd just introduce what I'm doing. You know, I'm travelling around Australia in my motorhome, and I've got a deck on the roof. I'll be interviewing people on the deck around Australia and just getting everyone's view about, you know, where they are in the world. What is it to be free? What is freedom? Because within these 7 colours, and I've used the 7 colours of the chakra system, you'll see, and they relate to 7 energy wheels. They're invisible. And for example, the first one you'll see is red. That, whether you believe them or not, it forms a fantastic framework for you to understand the nature of the human condition. And so, for example, we're recording the first 7 years. Give me a boy up until the age of 7 and I'll show you the man. And it's representing itself in the physical world as we grow older as adults, but we don't know that this is going on. So you're going to see how these invisible energy wheels that are represented in colour are an amazing way for you to recognise the nature of what drives human psychology. It's the spirit, and we're either inspired by the spirit of the world, and as you'll see, we're inspired by something transcendent, that old story. And this is where we see a new world, guys. This is where we've got the possibility of bringing in a whole new paradigm, a real paradigm shift that allows us to see the nature of the human condition and to finally be free of an old story. And it'll be a bridge. There'll be 2 worlds. One will be transcendent, the other one will be in an old story. And the people that are a part of the Freedom Foundation will recognise from within the green, where new things are seen. As you can see, the nature is green, and the colour above will be blue, and that relates to the new paradigm, which relates to the eternal nature of the spirit. This is just an introduction now into the 7 colours, the framework, and how you can use this framework to clean up your business, to clean up relationships, to know yourself, and bring that new natural order into a world that is having an incredible reset into the spirit of what humanity was always destined to represent. So I look forward to seeing you guys throughout these 5 modules that'll be dealing with the colours, the framework, and in module 6 and 7, we're going into more of a collaboration to how we can form that new community of like-mindedness that has transcended the old tricks, the old traps that hold us in things that stop us from moving forward in a way that we've never seen before. So thanks for sharing. Look forward to seeing you through the modules. Bye for now.
This resource is about reconnecting with your very own freedom. It's a freedom you've forgotten and don't know how to experience. This is nothing you can acquire or anything new to be gained. It is already yours. Yet for it to emerge of its own nature, the heart and mind must be reborn beyond old patterns of trauma and conditioning in order to rise into the ultimate experience, freedom.
G'day guys, welcome to 3 Omni. I couldn't do a whiteboard presentation on top of the motorhome, so this is just an introduction to me, where I've come from, the electrical engineering field in the mines, where I'd serviced multi-million-dollar electrical equipment, and from that 20 years in the business, I took my cartooning skills, where I was actually paid to draw cartoons on site to raise awareness. And I took that skill into schools, educating children about how they are able to see from the awareness that they are, which is in the above, and how they can rise above the nature of what we're all in, which is the culture of following the herd, like following everybody else and not feeling inspired to know themselves. And it was fantastic that I couldn't get it implemented in the schools, but I did change the government's anti-bullying policy to bullying being a misuse of power. And so I changed the government's anti-bullying policy because they didn't realise that all this down here, the red, orange and yellow, the first 3 lots of 7 years is where when we're repeating the patterns that our family has inherited in every generation all the way back to the entire human condition is red up to green. 4 lots of 7 years you'll be learning through Triomni is where we spend our time, and our space is in the magic of Saturn. It takes Saturn 28 years to revolve around the sun. And so this is really helpful to understand why it is around the age 28 and 30. This information doesn't really mean a lot to us until life presents in a certain way that we don't get what we want. And we're kind of thrown out of our comfort zone. So if you're leading up to 28, this makes sense why you're having to just work it out through the 4 levels of red, orange and yellow up to green, which gets you to know yourself in the world. Where really what you're doing is you're repeating the archetype of your mother's and father's balance and imbalance is pretty much reflected through your own being. So in Triomni, we're learning how the conscious mind is also entertaining the subconscious that works 20 million times faster than the conscious mind of the omnipresence. This is now your ability to say, right, so when I get to the age of around 28 to 30, this is when I can really recognize that I can let go of the programming in the first 7 years, the second 7 years where the sacral chakra, the orange, relates more to emotion and who I think I am as a boy or a girl in culture. And then the yellow chakra relates more to who I am intellectually and think ahead and plan my future is my power in the solar plex area. And green relates to the ability to balance that and find love. And this is when we usually tap into that more so as we mature. So don't rush this, guys. Triomni and Triomniversity is about teaching you how to be an intelligent agent in a world that is artificially intelligent. This is like water, the essence of life, and this is like the oil. And oil comes from matter. And so everything that has to do with being in the world has to do with being in what matters to me. The first 7 years in red relates to me, survival, basic identity. And as that goes up, it repeats into orange and into yellow, unless we have that beautiful balance of masculine and feminine somewhere being introduced as an example. We are these 2 archetypes playing out. So Triomni helps you see into the nature of old trauma without reigniting it, because at this level we can't create anything new. It's like the observer is the observed. Nothing changes. So in this way we are becoming a witness. And so now we're going to do a little experiment. We're going to prepare ourselves to take a breath. Just coming back to the witness within. And in this space, we are the witness to the secondary nature of old thought, old memory. And so in that first 7 years, we're going to do an exercise. Now, I've given everybody a piece of A4 paper. If you haven't got it, get it now. And in that, you'll see, just draw a line in the middle, in the portrait, like that. So it's sitting up, line in the middle, and the above, I want you to draw a set of eyes. That's the awareness that is witnessing. Not the old trauma, not the old memory. That's gone. That's where the illusion can become the delusion as we grow up. Just bring your awareness to whatever comes up in that first 7 years without igniting the old trauma. Just witness whatever comes up. You are the witnessing agent from green to violet. That is the eternal spirit of what sees eternally and is your true nature. And as you write down, it could be fear, it could be anxiety, it could be feeling alone. Whatever it is, don't be attached. Just see it and write it down. And however that word makes you feel, just draw an outline around it. It could be edgy, it could be whatever it is, just how that feels. And once you've drawn that in that lower part of the page, I want you to fold the page up. So the page is folded in 2. The eyes will be facing the memory, the old trauma. Now put that up to the light, and as you put that up to the light, what you are seeing is you are the witness seeing through something that is no longer attached to the nature of what repeats in red, obviously in orange, yesterday in yellow, and that all the way up to the green, right? Because our heart is even pulled into this narrative, which is a three-dimensional, this is all three-dimensional perception. And so you'll be learning through Triomni and Triomniversity how to tap into the fourth dimension and the fifth, which is at the level of blue, the ability to speak. Because in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and it's our capacity to be able to understand the law of God, where we can log in to a living reality instead of logging in to the law of man, which holds us at the level it was created. We were warned, even biblically, don't have anybody ruling over you, because they will take advantage of, they can't control their power. This is why this power was given to us freely. And so this is where we're coming back now to what is already freely available through Triomni. And the more we recognize the nature of what's been keeping us in this six-sided box, you're going to be realizing that instead of watching the screen play out, it's like we're in a movie theater watching a screen. We're all sitting here watching this movie play out. But the movie that's playing out is actually controlling us. And so we're going to be blowing out the back wall of what is driving our thoughts in this movie theater. This world is like, it's like the screen is showing us what we are. Yet when we actually recognize that we're being programmed, then you go, right, I can come back to being aware of the fact that that's what's going on. I can be honest with myself. We come back to that honesty from within, and that has the ability to take responsibility for what it is. Right, this is how I can bring that awareness in to my life. And through that exercise that you've just done, you're getting a little taste of what will be further unlocking the aspects that keep us ricocheting around inside this box. And you can't escape at that level, but you can see it. You can, with the lens of awareness, drop into that and realize that there are no angles to the awareness. It is simply what is able to see into and operate from. You can still operate in the world, but the lens of awareness opens up into that box and frees you out of the game, so you'll be in the world but not of it. So I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. It's been great talking to you. Throughout the modules, we're going to go further into how to speak to authority from the law of God and how to understand the nature of what we're in, so we're qualified. We know how to see the artificial and how to tap into the intelligent agent that you're always destined to be. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I look forward to seeing you through the modules. This is Tully Vision signing out.
Proudest flavored sticks is what I hear to say. Some come home tomorrow. I must